Hey friends, welcome to MTG. My name is Ken and we're back with another video covering a bit of a juggernaut in the commander world, and that's Kaalia of the Vast. So let's talk about Kaalia. I think this commander is one of the most popular commanders that have ever existed. It literally came out in Commander 2011, the first commander precon set Wizards ever put out. I don't think it's quite fit for a format like Historic Brawl, and there's a couple reasons for that. First being that at 4 mana with an attack trigger with no real evasion outside of flying, it's too slow, and by turn 4, usually these decks, I'm thinking our Nadus, our Mythweavers, our Vojas, their turn 4 is like go time for them, and we're just setting up. And if we can get our commander out turn 4 and not protect it, it's just not going to happen. The second reason, which kind of relates to that, is that Kaalia is a 2/2, and 2 toughness dies to a lot. We have our lightning bolts, we have our shocks, we have any form of damage dealing removal. Kaalia needs to be protected, and in order to protect Kaalia, you usually need to delay a couple more turns, and then by that point it's too late. And the third reason I think Kaalia doesn't quite work in a format like Brawl is everybody knows what Kaalia the Vast does. People who only play Arena, people who play Commander, people who even don't play Commander. I feel like everybody knows what a Kaalia deck is. It cares about 3 creature types, it wants to do one very specific thing, and that's attack, and people play around that. I've seen opponents mulligan down to 6 or 5 cards just to find the removal piece to deal with Kaalia so that the trigger never happens. It's kind of sad, but also with a commander like this with such a robust history of being just a juggernaut, I kind of get it, so I can't be too upset about that. The footage here, I wanted to still show what this commander can do and try and instead of focus on the negative and, you know, just a bunch of losses. And I mean, I'll be honest, there were a lot of losses and like not fun ones either. Ones where it just, you know, nothing gets off the ground. You don't really ever get a footing in the game. So I wanted to still try and show that this commander can have its moments. It can still be fun. I think we need to build a bit differently than we maybe would for a 4-player commander pod, and I'm going to try and focus on that. The end of the video is going to go through my list, what I liked about it, also what I want to change, and how I think you need to steer a deck like this to try and be a little more viable. But we still have some fun footage. I wanted to show that this commander can still do the crazy fun things it does, and also still maybe show a little bit of why it might not work quite as well as it did in the past. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy this video. Let's jump into the gameplay. It's always when I go to like another Nicol Bolas, I've faced so many of these today. Every time I go to like clean my glasses or take a drink, I immediately get put into a game. All right, Aganjo, that's good. Swords, yeah. Coat, good. Yeah, let's see. Let's go Shocked Foundry. Keep that swords up. This one cares about us discarding. Holding up the foothills. Okay. We'll go tower, pass. Let them crack. Oh. I'm all congested today. Wooded foothills. Ooh, it's like the retro. That's cool. Get your triome. Coat, I don't know. Like there's hope in this hand, but I don't know. Opponent is doing everything but playing cards. Should we see if the Aganjo gets countered? Yeah, you know what? If it is, it's just a counter to their hand. Okay, it resolves. That's nice. Let's go get a plains. We'll take this one. All right. So we can get an extra land out if it survives, which is great. I always, you know, it took me way too long to realize that essentially the second chapter of the saga lets you ramp in white. It never really clicked for me for like a stupid long time. Yeah, anything with power 2 or less, or sorry, mana value 2 or less, you essentially can discard it and immediately get it back. So the more you know. I mean, everyone knew that. I'm the only one that didn't know that. Okay, you may discard a card. We'll discard the Triome. And we'll get it back. Alright. We will go... Let's go for the plains. So we do have Champions of Tier. Balefire is also good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 mana next turn. I guess we'll try. Let's see. Again, if we can get a counter spell out now. Better now than later. No, it survives. Do they have the removal spell? We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're 2 turns out from playing Kaalia with the Mithril Coat up, ready to protect. Alright, there's the Infernal Grasp. That's okay. We get a boon, so Kaalia can come in with Lifelink, or +1/+1. Nicol Bolas comes in. Discarding. Ooh, this is... Oh, this is a hard choice. I think the coat's going to be integral, so unfortunately we have to lose the dragon. We have a creature back. We'll go here for a Black Saurus. We're going to Swords the Nicol Bolas. Absolutely. Perfect. And I believe we can also play this. Yeah, let's hold up the coat. Maybe we can end step it. Well, no, there's really no point with the equip cost. Never mind. We didn't need to lose that life. But we can bluff. Fear me. And my 3 mana. So, the sad thing though is now we don't have a Kaalia card in hand. Which is always how it goes. That's right, opponent not doing anything, perhaps? I guess the other... No, you know what? I'm glad I had that untapped, because if they try and make us discard, we can flash out the coat. You lose power. Yeah, that's fine. Again, rather that than something else. Alright. Oh, we have the Etsushi. So we could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have... I mean, though, I don't want them to counter my commander. So let's see. Do they... We'll go Lifelink. Okay. See what they do about that. Maybe they don't have the counter spell after all. Come on, play something for 5 mana. Or with 2 blue pips. Sparks of Fate. Destroy all dragons. Create 3 treasures. Exile top 2 cards. That's... Do we care? No, I kind of want that dice trigger. We're gonna actually go for the exiling though. Okay. All right. Well, we have an Avacyn in hand, so let's go. Let's see. Hold on. We have a Dark Ritual, and we're gonna lose it. Can we go for? Let's see. That'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 mana. We could just straight up go for Avacyn. Is that the answer? Or is it more fun to get it out with Kaalia? Nah, let's just go for the Avacyn. Let's not add extra unnecessary steps to this. Our Mithril Coat's a lot less useful, as long as we have Avacyn out, but now it can act as discard fodder if needed. Okay, going for Bolas again. So we say goodbye to the coat. Now we'll go for Kaalia. Let's get you out, friend. We'll swing with our Avacyn. Flipping Bolas. Let them draw. Deal damage. Recur. Oh, now they're dark ritualing. Uh-oh. Are they gonna flip? No, they're going for a different Bolas. Deal 7 damage. Target one excess cards from the top of your library. Ooh, Rakdos. That's a good hit. On that. Okay. Well, we're at an interesting place in the game. Citadel. So we can get the gold spin out, though we miss on that attack trigger since it comes in already attacking. Or do we just go for the Citadel? Let's just do this. And then we can still get the gold spin out if we want. Arena Glory. Great. Rune Scar. Sure. This is actually very good. Oh, do they have a 1 mana? Oh, do they have the Wash Away? They have the Wash Away. Well, in response, we'll exile. Ooh, what do we exile? Active Skin's indestructible. We'll exile this. Oh, and we can mana tithe, right? Yes! We're at 8 life, though, so I can't get too carried away. Alright. Top deck of the century there with that. Yes! We did it! Alright. Well, we didn't get the Kaalia trigger, but we still got it, so good game. Alright. We're against an Anim Pakal. What does that tell us? It tells us we might be in trouble. Claim Jumper, good. Mana Tithe, good. But not good enough. This is better. Quite better. Esper into the Cold Steel, into the Toxic, maybe? Actually, this is such a good hand against the Anim Pakal deck. So let's go. Esper Sentinel. Fear us. Balefire, also a fantastic card against a Anim Pakal deck. Alright. Mana Tithe, so let's go. I'll play this for black. Swing in for 1. We can just outright Mana Tithe their commander as well. Okay. Let's go for the Palantir. Let's keep the fun train going. We'll get a swamp. Sweet. Swinging for 1. See what we get on top. Velomachus. That's very good. Let's see. Do they have a strat, or are they going to lose 7 life? I kind of want them to make us lose life, because the arena is a bit better. Yes. Alright, we're getting Kaalia out next turn. Unless they mana tithe us. It would be kind of funny. But I think we're going to be fine. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Yep, I think we'll be good. Legion Extruder. Okay, there goes the Esper. Thank you for your service. Okay, we will go Arena. We're going to exert it to get a Kaalia with haste. Swing in. They don't have any creatures, so Balefire is as good now. But we did get him to 6 life. And that's enough. Alright, well, we did it. We got a Kaalia trigger. Good game. Okay. Oh, God, I haven't seen a Voja deck in a minute. I feel like everyone moved on so fast. Yeah, no, yeah, sure. I don't think this is going to be enough, but we'll see what we scry. Maybe this will make the difference. A land? Honestly, yeah. I'll take a land. Yeah, Voja really kind of got overshadowed really quickly. We don't have black mana, I'm now just realizing. Sylvan Ranger, there's an elf, and it ramps. They're going off. We're in trouble now. Yeah, I feel like the Emperor, no black mana still, eh? Okay, turn 4, it's happening. Yeah, with all the just like back to back to back things coming out, Voja kind of got overshadowed. Still not the right mana, eh? Alright, well, let's still go for Kaalia. We'll see what happens. They can Voja soon. Oh god, my glasses are fogging. Not now. No one talks about how annoying it is to have glasses that constantly fog. It's because I sweat and I'm warm all the time. My body just radiates. Okay. There. Does our Kaalia live? Ooh, I'm a little nervous that they got a mountain. Into a Gwenna. Going for the Gwenna. Okay, Kaalia survives. Does that give us a chance? We have a Grizzlebrand. That might. Let's see. We're gonna swing. Who do we start with? Avison? Let's go for the Ser. Because our Kaalia indestructible. Alright. Down to 14. We're up to 28. Let's throw on a ghost form onto Kaalia, I guess. Alright. Okay. That's not bad. What do we need to fear? A farewell. What's the other one? Sunfall. No, they're going for the aggro. Okay. Which I think is fine, because I think we will outpace them at this point. Well, no, probably not. Let's be honest. Well, they're at 14 life. And they can give Voja haste into a Marwid. Are we just dead now? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counters. I think we're just dead. Right? Yeah, surely. Oh, we're dead. Oh, we're so dead. Well, good game, I guess. All right. Oh, we're going against an Aurelia. We have an Aurelia. Like a battle of the flying, powerful creatures. Lightning bolt is nice. Everything else feels a little too slow. Mulligan. Better. Quite a bit better, actually. Go for the tap land. Let's see what's on top. Any kind of haste or protection would be my preferred. Velomachus. No. I'm sorry. We already have a really good target for the Kaalia. With the Grizzlebrand, I don't think we need the Velomachus. We do have the Bitter Triumph as well, which is nice. I don't know if off-color fetches are really necessary in a two-colored deck. I don't know. That's just my opinion, I guess, but it's pretty easy to get your colors. 3 color. Yeah, 4 color, I get it. Well, there's our haste source. All right, things are looking good. Go forge into signet. See what the opponent has, because next turn we can go for Kaalia and Grizzlebrand. But we want them to tap out, preferably. To go for the flowering. Okay. Well, let's see. We would get thwarted by a lightning bolt, which is totally understandable if that happens. And it does. Oh, dang. Well, we tried. Yep, you can go back. Command zone. I figured that was there's a chance I was gonna. Oh. Whoa. These are kind of cool. Magic. Hey, what's this one do? This isn't the new one. This is the OG. Gains first strike. Yeah, that's pretty good. 1, 2, 3. So 4 possible mana. So let's just get the tap land out of the way. Ward 1. Let's just get rid of this. We will discard hit you. Say yes. We'll discard this swamp. Submit. Ward 1. We will pay it. Okay. Do they have a mana tithe? That would be kind of funny. If we got thwarted by both lightning bolt and a mana tithe. No. Okay. All right. Kaalia next turn? Question mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Kaalia next turn. Or an ECD, depending on what they go for. Anim Pakal. Right. Let's go for this and get a black source. Ah, do they have the... I don't know. Thank you. I don't know. Let's see. They have 1 mana open. There are multiple 1 mana spells that would deal with Kaalia. I'm not going to take the risk. I'm just going to hit this. You pay the 1. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, shame on me again. Okay. Well, hey, if it's a mana tithe. Oh, well, okay. The ECD might actually give us the go-ahead. So let's try this again. Round 2, baby. Attack. There we go. In goes the Grizzlebrand. Down to 11. We do this at instant speed? We can. Enter. We got it. We did it. Aurelia comes in. Just stop on their end step. Down to 18. That's okay, because we have a Grizzlebrand, and that's the game. Alright, well, we got a good trigger. GG's. Alright, let's talk about Kaalia of the Vast. So, I put this deck together not really knowing what to expect as far as if the deck would be really good, if the deck would, you know, be a little too slow. Unfortunately, it ended up being a bit in the latter. I talked in the opening about how I feel like the deck, unfortunately, just isn't built for a format like this. But I really still wanted to try and give it the best shot possible and show you that you can still get fun, explosive games with Kaalia. It just takes a little bit of extra work. So for this, I'm going to mainly focus on what we can do as far as trying to get this deck to be as consistent as possible and not crumble, unfortunately, to everything that's in Brawl at the moment. The most important thing, and the thing I'm going to focus on most here today, is protecting Kaalia and letting Kaalia get in as soon as possible. In the protection category, I have a lot of things that Final Showdown, Surge of Salvation, Fairy's Protection, things that just essentially just protect either our commander or our board. There's a lot of removal coming at us, so I wanted to be able to kind of negate that. Honestly, I would probably recommend even more. I know there's a lot of things that give protection. Those kind of spells I think are super useful and things that you should definitely not overlook when building this deck. Kai's Ghost Form is just a great way to get your commander to come back after it's inevitably destroyed or exiled. I like this one because it also deals with exiled. Grand Abolisher is great. It keeps the opponent from meddling on our turns. Journal Enforcer gives protection to our commander because it is a legendary human. And Mithril Coat is just fantastic, obviously, because it's flash. The only downside is you usually pretty much have to be at a 7-mana state before you can get Kaalia and also have this in response. But anything that protects, anything that gives indestructible, anything that gives hexproof, you really want it. And you want it on a lower mana side that you can use it maybe like a turn, the same turn you cast Kaalia. The other most important thing, and I think I really need to lean into this more, I'm kind of surprised that I only had 2 after I finished my deck building, is you want to be able to get Kaalia in immediately. You can't let Kaalia sit for a turn or it's not going to work out. Kaalia is a 2/2, dies to Lightning Bolt, dies to Shock, is super easy to deal with. So we kind of want to get in and we want to get down fast. Swiftfoot Boots obviously falls under both these categories. It's such a shoo-in because it gives it hexproof and gives haste. I think the Lava Spore Boots are probably belong in this deck, and if I kind of retune this, which I might, I would definitely include those as well. Arena of Glory, though, I think this is the best card in the deck and a highly overlooked land from the Modern Horizons 3 set. This essentially acts sort of like a Hangwire Battlement, I want to say. I think that might be the name, where it's a land that gives creatures haste, but this one doesn't cost mana. It essentially, it takes 1 mana, it produces 2 mana. It does have Exert, so it's tapped the next turn. Usually it's fine because as long as you get Kaalia out, you're usually set up to win. And I'll be honest, the minute Kaalia ever triggers, the game's over anyway. So really the downside is not that much of a downside. I think this is probably the best card in the deck and is an absolute must if you want to play this deck. It just gets your Kaalia down turn 4, swinging. At that point, it's harder to remove because it doesn't matter, because as long as Kaalia attacks, you're set up. So highly recommend this card. I think this was integral to a lot of my games. Moving on, we have a lot of ramp because Kaalia is a 4-mana commander, and our top end is very high because we have a lot of big, powerful creatures, and obviously we'll get to those at the end. So I put a lot of focus on just getting a lot of mana out as fast as possible. These are all pretty typical. I'm still gonna, again, circle Claim Jumper, as I think this is a very, very, very good card in this format, especially against all the good stuff green decks. You have your Nadus, your Pantlazas, your Emotes, your Vojas, all have green and all are trying to ramp as fast as possible, and Claim Jumper almost always gets me 2 lands, and it's like it gets me in my, usually I end up with a Triome and a Surveil land, like best case scenario. So I highly recommend this card. I don't think people are using it enough. Moving on, our removal package is nothing special. I didn't really do anything specific for this that wouldn't be in any other Mardu deck. I do want to say ECD, you can kind of like consider this maybe a little bit of protection as well, giving that chapter 2 non-creature spells your opponents control cast 2 more. You can get that to line up with when you plan to cast or swing out with Kaalia. It does help protect a little bit, but obviously this is more in here just for the removal. Board wipes, nothing new. Toxic Deluge, I love that this is in the format now. It's just such a good board wipe. And the Ruinous Ultimatum, I think I crafted this. It's a wild card that probably didn't need to be made, but I felt like I was in Mardu. I couldn't not have Ruinous Ultimatum. This next category is card draw. You need to keep your hand pretty full because Kaalia wants to have these big creatures in hand. I found, even with the amount of card draw I did have, which obviously there's some in here as well, but these are all categories by their type, I still found that there'd be turns where I actually didn't have any demons, angels, or dragons. So you want to keep the handful. I think in this category, Horn of the Mark is really good because it cares about things attacking. You gotta look at the top of your card, you gotta put something in your hand. Perixing Arena, that we don't need to talk about that. But Palantir, I really like in this deck because a lot of these things are high mana, and one or two of these on the top of your deck, if your opponent doesn't want you to draw a card, they're gonna probably get hit for like half their life total sometimes, if not at least like a third of it. So I think this is very good in this deck. Definitely worth crafting. These two are kind of just a miscellaneous category. Roaming Throne, I thought, you know, what the hey, Kaalia can get 2 triggers. I don't think this is needed in this deck. I would swap this for something that enables or gives haste, or something else that maybe protects, or I don't know. Bolas the Citadel, it's just a fun, silly card. I like the idea of maybe getting like a Grizzlebrand off the top because a lot of these big things have lifelink. So I felt like, you know, we can get a little fast and loose with it. So I did have some fun moments with Citadel. It's just a fun card. I don't think it needs to be in this deck. Lastly, let's talk about our actual creatures we're trying to get out with Kaalia. I just ordered them by the creature type. I believe, let's double check. It felt like we were on the slightly low end for what we want. We had 8 dragons, 6 demons, and 9 angels. I want to say maybe we should have a little more. The issue is a lot of these are high mana, right? We want to be getting the big, splashy, powerful things down. But if we're not able to get Kaalia to go up, a lot of these cards are going to be dead in hand. So I tried to try and find ones that were a little bit lower mana. I think we started off at the 4 mana. Things like the Champions of Tyr, Bloodletter, Atsushi. I think we could have more. So this, I think, needs to be played around with a little bit more. I included all the most fun ones, I would say, but I think the ratio could be a bit better. Some ones of note, I mean, Avacyn, obviously, Grizzlebrand, Balefire Dragon is just a house in this deck. It come down, this cares about dealing combat damage, you're getting that immediately, and usually clearing your opponent's whole board. Burning Rune Demon is great because essentially it sets you up for the next Kaalia trigger if you get one. We've got Rakdos the Muscle, we've got Rakdos Patron of Chaos, all fantastic cards. I tried to put some new ones in here, ones that, you know, weren't around when OG Kaalia came out. So we have things like the Liesa, Aurelia, this is the newest Aurelia, cares about attacking with 3 or more creatures. The Steel Seraph is great just because it gives things lifelink. Sanctuary Warden, I think this is just a great angel card in general. But yeah, I mean, we have the Goldspan, the Bone Horde, Atsushi, Terror of the Peaks is a great one, Ancient Copper Dragon. I will say though, and I knew this going into it, but I don't think I maybe paid attention to it quite enough, is that Kaalia is having these creatures come in already attacking. So anything that has an attack trigger specifically, it will not trigger on the turn that Kaalia brings it out. So let's look at Velomachus as an example. It says whenever Velomachus Loreholds attacks, look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may cast an instant sorcery with mana value less than or equal to its power from among them without paying its mana cost, but the rest on the bottom. Of course, I picked the most wordy one as an example, but since Velomachus is already attacking, Velomachus is never declared as an attacker, so that will not trigger. You will have to wait until the next turn. There's a couple creatures I noticed kind of a little too late that, okay, maybe this doesn't work quite as well as I wanted. Goldspan is another example. Honestly, I think it's usually better just to cast Goldspan and attack since it has haste. I don't think this is a great target to bring out with Kaalia. What else had that similar trigger? Burning Rune Demon is an ETB, so that works well. Aurelia, this also isn't a great, I mean, it's still worth, I think, running in the deck anyways because it's a great angel, but I think you would rather just cast this and then do Kaalia's thing. And honestly, like, if you can get this out and then swing with Kaalia already out, I mean, that's best case scenario. But yeah, just a few things. Like, this is at the beginning of combat, this doesn't quite work as well. There's just room for improvement, and I think a deck like this needs to be tuned very finely and play tested and tweaked a bunch just to kind of find that perfect balance, because you're going up against a lot of removal. Everyone knows what a Kaalia deck does. There's no like nuance, there's no mystery to it, so people know that Kaalia must die. People will keep opening hands just for the removal, just to ensure that your plan does not go off. So I think there's improvements I can make. I might maybe try crack at this deck a little later on and see maybe if we can get it a bit more up to speed. But I still wanted to put something out and show you that you can still have some fun, crazy, explosive games with this deck. It might just take a little bit harder. It might take a little bit more work. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy your long weekend, if you hopefully get one. I guess if you're in the US, Canada already had their long weekend. Happy belated Canada Day. Canadian. But without further ado, let's say goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.